Hello, and welcome to Barry Nerd Corner. My name is Brandon, and this is my attempt to beat Pokemon Crystal version using only Gen 1 Pokemon. The second generation of Pokemon introduced 100 new Pokemon, bringing the total in the world to 251. But what if we didn't want to use them? What if we believed that Gen 1 was the only true generation of Pokemon, and every other region is stupid and awful and lazily made? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to ignore all the cool new Pokemon introduced in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal and stick to the OG 151. Anyway, the rules are simple. I can only use Gen 1 or Kanto Pokemon in battle. Baby Pokemon that evolve into Gen 1 Pokemon are allowed, but any Kanto Pokemon that evolve into Johto Pokemon, like Golbat to Crobat, cannot reach those forms. Otherwise, standard Hardcore Nuzlocke rules apply. Only the first viable encounter per area is allowed. Any fainted Pokemon must be released immediately, no items in battle mode must be kept on set, and no overleveling past the next gym leader's ace. I'm also adding a new rule to make this challenge more difficult. After every gym battle, I will retire every Pokemon that appeared in that battle. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Seriously, if everyone who watched my videos in the last month subscribed, I would probably be able to do this full time. So again, if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button really quick, it helps me out a lot. Anyway, leave a comment down below and tell me your favorite Johto Pokemon. Without further ado, let's jump into Johto and see if Generation 1 truly is the best of them all. Starting the game, we meet Professor Oak. He explains things that we should know already from living in the Pokemon world before asking our name. As I said before Oak, it's Brandon. He then lets us go, so we meet another professor, Elm. He asks us to help him with his doctoral research, so he gives us a Pokemon for science. I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to change the starters into their Kanto counterparts. At my college roommate's behest, I choose Squirtle. I name him Blooper and head to meet Mr. Pokemon. Mr. Pokemon also wants to give us something, a mystery egg to take to Elm. And Oak is there too, giving us a Pokedex to fill up for him. For goodness sakes, would you grown men do your own jobs instead of pawning the work off on a 10-year-old? Anyway, when we leave, Elm calls us distraught about something. Fine, we're on our way. Along the way, a random redhead stops us. He challenges us to a fight with his Chikorita. Blooper and Chikorita take turns tackling each other, but Blooper comes out on top. Defeated, the redhead's dream is shattered and he runs away, probably crying. We return to Elm's lab, where apparently someone stole another of the starters. The police blame the redhead, but he had a Chikorita, not the missing Bulbasaur. I name the redhead Squirt to throw them off the trail and embark on my journey. Time to expand the team. We catch Cinderella the Rattata on Route 30, Elvis the Geodude on Route 46, Ants the Caterpie on Route 30, Skyfall the Pidgey on Route 31, and Twilight the Zubat in Dark Cave. And with that, the team is full as we head into Violet City, where we heal up for anything else. While climbing Sprout Tower, Ants evolves into Metapod. Not that he'll be useful for the first gym, but that's cool anyway. We get to the top of the tower and fight Sage Lee. He's actually stronger than Falkner, with a level 10 Hoot Hoot. We defeat him, but now both Blooper and Skyfall are above the level cap. Oh well, we all know that Falkner is the easiest gym leader ever. Speaking of, let's take him down. He leads with a level 7 Pidgey, and I send out Cinderella. We take turns dealing moderate damage, but Cinderella doesn't even lose half of her HP before taking out Pidgey with Quick Attack. Second is Falkner's ace Pidgeotto, at level 9. I use Tail Whip to lower his defense, while Pidgeotto takes out half my remaining HP. The Hell Berry healed me enough to take at least one more attack, so I go for another Tail Whip. Pidgeotto scores a critical hit, taking Cinderella to 1 HP. The next turn, Cinderella deals heavy damage with Quick Attack before falling to another hit. Wah wah, not a big deal. I send out Elvis. Pidgeotto uses Mud Slap to deal damage and lower my accuracy, but Elvis still hits 2 tackles to win the fight. The first badge is ours. However, this also means that Elvis must be retired, so now we have to refill the team. We find an Ekans named Anaconda and a Bellsprout named Soylent and add them to the team. On the way to Azalea Town, Ants evolves into Butterfree. We reach Azalea Town and meet Old Man Kurt. He leads the charge against Team Rocket in the Slowpoke well, then pawns off the responsibility on us. Thanks, dude. We clear out the grunts and leave. None of them are a match for our team, but here's the battle against what would technically be Proton. Then, while grinding for Bugsy's gym, Blooper evolves into Wartortle. With the grind done, we head in to face Bugsy. Our team is just Skyfall and Tremors the Onyx, whom we caught in Union Cave. Let's see how it goes. Bugsy sends out his Metapod first, and I choose Tremors. Tremors misses a rock throw, letting Metapod slow us down with String Shot. He then hits an ineffective tackle, as Tremors hits 2 rock throws, taking him out. Bugsy sends in his Scyther. Scyther outspeeds us and hits a weak Fury Cutter. Then, Tremors buries the Mantis Pokemon with a critical hit from rock throw. This battle is so much easier in Gen 2. Last is Kakuna. It hardens and hits a Poison Sting before Tremors can hit 2 rock throws and take it out. That earns us our second badge. Unfortunately, that also means retirement for Tremors. Again, I'm currently only retiring Pokemon that fought in the battle, so Skyfall gets to stay a little bit longer. We then attempt to enter Ilex Forest, but our rival Squirt stops us. He wants to battle us to prove that we're weak, but with such a varied team, he doesn't stand a chance. I'll just skip any fights with him unless something noteworthy happens. So, skip! Before reaching Goldenrod, we stop at the daycare and pick up an odd egg. This can hatch into a number of Pokemon, all of which can evolve into a Gen 1 Pokemon, so we will probably use it at some point. In Goldenrod City, we pick up a bicycle. Now we can go fast as we get ready for the gym. Against Whitney, I choose Skyfall and Ring the Slowpoke. She starts with Clefairy and I start with Ring. I use Curse to buff my defense and attack. She copies as I boost my stats to their maximum. Then Clefairy slaps Ring around a bit before Ring manages to knock her out with Headbutt. Second is Whitney's notorious Miltank. She starts her infamous rollout, but my defense boosts make the damage irrelevant. Headbutt deals more than half her health, so a second hit takes her out and earns us the second badge. After Whitney stops being a bad sport, of course. Unfortunately, this means that Ring retires. A bit of a bummer because I like Slowbro and Slowking, but we still have Skyfall since he didn't actually appear in the battle. We leave Goldenrod and encounter Floria, who thinks this tree is super sus. She says that she'll let us have a squirt bottle if we go back to her shop. Skipping that, we approach the tree and spray it with water. It turned out to be a Sudowoodo, who attacks. But because it's a Johto Pokemon, we have to take it down. We defeat it pretty easily with Blooper, though a critical hit from Rock Throw almost kills him. In Ecruteak City's Burn Tower, we run into a weirdo named Yucine. He wants to find Suicune. Unfortunately for him, after beating Squirt again, we literally fall into a hole and happen to find Suicune and the other 2 legendary dogs. What a loser Yucine is. After grinding, we challenge Morty. I bring Ants, Skyfall, Anaconda, and Cats with me. Let's see who gets to retire today. First is Morty's Ghastly against Ants, but a single Confusion takes it out immediately. Second is the first Haunter, but it gets the same treatment, Confusion and a KO. Third is Gengar, the real trouble. Ants manages to dodge a Hypnosis and hit a Stun Spore. 2 hits of Confusion take Gengar to red health before Hypnosis hits. Then, a strange thing happens. Gengar is paralyzed for several turns in a row, while Ants stays asleep. Morty only manages to heal slightly from a single Dream Eater before Ants wakes up. A third hit from Confusion takes out the Ghost Pokemon, leaving Morty with just a Haunter. This Haunter survives 1 Confusion, uses Mean Look to trap Ants, then falls to a second hit. That's 4 badges and another single Pokemon sweep. If this happens again, I'll change the rule to retire all the Pokemon in my party, even if they don't actually fight. Before leaving Ecruteak, we check out the dance theater. While fighting the Kimono Girls, Umbreon uses Pursuit on 13 the Ghastly, brutally killing the Pokemon again. What happens to a dead ghost? After defeating the Kimono Girls, we receive the HM for Surf. And obviously, we teach that to Blooper immediately. Then, after getting the Good Rod in Olivine City, we backtrack and catch a bunch of Pokemon to fill up the Pokedex. I'll show them to you briefly. Obviously, Igglybuff is a Gen 2 Pokemon, so I'm tolerating her existence until she evolves into a Jigglypuff. With that out of the way, we surf across the ocean to reach Cyan Wood City, where we can find the next gym. We also find Yucine, who challenges us to a battle. It's pretty easy, though his Electrode nearly kills Soylent with some rollout baloney. Once we hit the level cap, we challenge Chuck with Twilight the Golbat and Shrek the Poliwhirl. Chuck starts with Primeape against Twilight. Twilight is faster, so he hits first and takes it down with a single wing attack. Last is Poliwrath. I go for the attack and deal heavy damage with wing attack. Poliwrath misses Hypnosis, which is a lifesaver. A second wing attack takes down Poliwrath and defeats Chuck. That earns us our 5th badge, but that means that Twilight and Shrek have to retire. Between the two of you, you beat 2 Pokemon and won a single battle. Way to retire early, you champs. Strangely, the level cap for Pryce is 31, while the level cap for Jasmine is 34, so let's challenge Pryce first, shall we? Onward to Mahogany Town. We venture to the Lake of Rage and challenge the Red Gyarados. Soylent poisons it before taking massive damage from Thrash. I swap around, waiting for it to get confused and stop hitting me. This ends up with Cats out, so I use Growl to take less damage. However, Gyarados hits Dragon Rage through confusion, killing my cat. I send out Blooper to weaken it some more, then throw a Great Ball. Fortunately, it pops out and then falls to poison damage. No shiny Gyarados for me. Before we can bury our deceased feline, Lance recruits us to take on Team Rocket in Mahogany Town. We return to the Pokemon Center, bury cats, and bring Godzilla into the party. While facing Team Rocket, some team changes happen. Godzilla evolves into Nidorino thanks to the experience share, and tragically, Bug's life dies when a grunt's coughing explodes. Now that Team Rocket is gone, let's challenge Pryce. Pryce's first Pokemon is Seal, and I send out Soylent. Vine Whip deals massive damage, and Seal retaliates with Icy Wind. Another Vine Whip defeats Seal and brings out its big brother Dugong. I stay in to hit a Vine Whip, and Soylent barely survives an Aurora Beam. I then switch to Nemo and try to soften it up with some Tail Whips. Eventually, Nemo falls to Dugong, and I send in Moana the Kingler. Stomp avenges the death of Nemo and leaves Pryce with just his Piloswine. Surf hits it for super effective damage, taking it to yellow health. Piloswine misses a Fury attack, so Pryce heals it on the next turn before Surf brings it back to yellow. The following turn, a third Surf lands and knocks out the Mammoth Pokemon, defeating Pryce and earning our 6th badge. But with that, our good friend Soylent retires, barely avoiding death. Now let's take a brief break from constantly changing the background, at least for 30 seconds or so. We return to Olivine City, climb the lighthouse, and meet Jasmine. She asks us to go find some medicine for her Amphi, so we jump out of the lighthouse and fly to Cianwood City. We pick up the secret potion from the pharmacist there, fly back, climb the lighthouse again. Man, you really should install an elevator in this thing. The potion cures Amphi, so Jasmine returns to the gym, and we return to grinding. With that finished, we challenge Jasmine with Mist the Weezing and Karate Kid the Machoke. Jasmine leads with Magnemite. Unsurprisingly, Fire Blast takes it out in a single hit. That brings out the second Magnemite. This one's a bit smarter, dodging a Fire Blast and using Thunder Wave to paralyze Mist. The second blast does hit though, knocking it out. Last is Jasmine's Steelix. Fire Blast brings it down to like 2 HP and it misses an Iron Tail. Jasmine heals it with a Hyper Potion as Mist's last Fire Blast misses. Try saying that 3 times fast. I switch out for Karate Kid and take heavy damage and a defense drop from Iron Tail. Kid's low kick does decent damage and causes a flinch, which is handy. Kid manages to hit twice more, taking Steelix down to like 2 HP again. But an Iron Tail hits, knocking her out. I send out Mist, who dodges another Iron Tail and finishes Jasmine's Steelix with a Tackle Attack. Good job, Mist. You've earned your retirement. At Elm's request, we return to Goldenrod City to stop Team Rocket's takeover of the radio tower. Aside from a bunch of evolutions, nothing important happens. First, I evolved Godzilla into Nidoking, thanks to a Moonstone from Mom. Blooper gains enough experience to evolve into Blastoise. Skyfall does the same, evolving into Pidgeot, and Kiri puts the beat down on Squirt and evolves into Alakazam, thanks to the Universal Pokemon Randomizer. Now, to catch some more Pokemon. We get a seal named Willy from the Whirl Islands, a Magikarp named Aragon from Ecruteak City, Tarzan the Tangela from Route 44, and Doubtfire the Jinx, whom we add to the team. On the way to Blackthorn City, we solve a strength puzzle. These are so commonplace in the older Pokemon games, and I kinda miss them. Speaking of strength puzzles, there's one in Claire's gym, and that's where we are. We challenge her, and she starts with a Dragonair. I send out Doubtfire. A single Ice Punch takes down the dragon easily. Claire then chooses her ace, Kingdra. This is not what I wanted. Doubtfire uses Lovely Kiss to put her to sleep, then scores a critical hit with Ice Punch. This drops Kingdra to red HP, so I switch to Stitch while Claire heals her with a Hyper Potion. She then uses a full heal while I miss a Leech Seed. The second seed hits before Kingdra blasts Stitch with Hyper Beam. Stitch retaliates with a few confusions, confusing Kingdra. The following turn, Kingdra knocks herself out in her confusion. This brings out another Dragonair, so I switch for Doubtfire. Unfortunately, Dragonair uses Thunder Wave to paralyze her. Dragonair then hits with Slam before Doubtfire takes her out with Ice Punch. Claire's final Dragonair comes out and also hits a Slam before falling to Ice Punch. Before clearing out the Dragon's Den, we get to retire the team. Doubtfire, Stitch, Shallows, and Anaconda. 2 of you were very useful and deserve it. In the Dragon's Den, we pass the test and receive a free Dratini named Pete. I may never use her, so to the box she goes. Leaving the den, Professor Elm calls us and invites us back to the lab. We fly to New Bark Town to visit and he gives us the Master Ball. We could go to the Pokemon League, but I know of something else that needs to happen. We travel to Ecruteak City and enter the 10 Tower, where we are challenged by a trio of sages. They give us a history lesson about the towers in Ecruteak City between battles. After taking them down, they let us pass to challenge Suicune. I choose Carrie to face the legendary dog, although I forgot to heal after the sages. However, Carrie punches the dog in the face 3 times, knocking it out in spectacular fashion. Yucine shows up and is amazed at the epic battle we just had. Whatever you say, dude. With that out of the way, on to the Pokemon League. We traverse Victory Road, which is a nice walk down memory lane. I didn't know before this run that the Crystal Victory Road has basically the same layout as the one in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I don't think Heart Gold and Soul Silver have the same level of consistency, though maybe I just haven't noticed it. As we approach the exit, Squirt challenges us to our final battle, and it is a brutal slaughter. Squirt runs off to reconsider his life choices as we move on. After grinding to the level cap, we enter the Pokemon League and challenge Will. I choose Blooper to face his Psychic Pokemon, starting with Xatu. Ice Punch nearly takes it out in a single hit, but it survives and confuses Blooper. This causes him to hit himself like an idiot before finishing off the bird. Next is Exeggutor. Blooper makes up for his blunder with a critical hit on Ice Punch, taking out Exeggutor in a single hit. Will's next Pokemon is Jinx. A Headbutt deals massive damage as Blooper dodges a Double Slap. A second attack knocks out Jinx, bringing out Slowbro. Blooper attacks with Bite, dealing heavy damage, but Slowbro uses Amnesia to buff himself, so I switch to using Headbutt to take it out after tanking a Psychic. Last is another Xatu. Bite takes him to about a quarter health. Blooper endures another Psychic, and another Bite finishes Xatu and the battle. Second in the league is Koga, but I have Carrie, so this is gonna be easy. Psychic takes down Ariados. Fire Punch beats Fortress, then Psychic beats Crobat, Venomoth, and Muk. And that's the match. Another easy sweep for this run. Bruno is third, but he's rarely a challenge. Remember, I have an Alakazam. Psychic takes down Hitmontop, Onix, Machamp, Hitmonchan, and Hitmonlee with ease. Hitmonchan does manage to hit Carrie with a critical hit Mach Punch though. After savagely beating Bruno, we leave him to move on to the final member, Karen. Karen is usually a bit tricky, so let's see how this goes. She leads with Umbreon and I choose Godzilla. Double Kick deals heavy damage and Umbreon misses a sand attack, which is ironic. A second Double Kick takes down the dog without any issue. Karen then sends out Vileplume. I switch to Carrie, avoid a Stun Spore, and take it out easily with Psychic. When Murkrow comes out, I consider Thunder Punch, but opt to switch out to Blooper. He takes a Feint Attack very well, then knocks out the bird with an Ice Punch. Karen's penultimate Pokemon is Gengar. This gal is dangerous because she has Curse and Destiny Bond. Blooper uses Bite to take her to under half HP, but then I switch to avoid Destiny Bond. Godzilla comes in, moves first, and takes out the ghost with an Earthquake. Last is Houndoom, but once again, Godzilla is faster, hitting it with another Earthquake and defeating Karen. With that, the Elite Four is defeated, so let's try our hand at Lance, the Dragon Master. Let's see how it goes. As always, Lance leads with a Gyarados, so I start with X-Men for its Pokemon League debut. Thundershock surprisingly almost takes out Gyarados in a single hit, allowing X-Men to finish the Serpent easily the next turn. If only I had Thunderbolt. Lance sends out his strongest Dragonite because it has Fire Blast. X-Men paralyzes Dragonite with Thunder Wave before starting to deal damage. Unfortunately, Dragonite hits with Fire Blast a few turns later to melt X-Men into nothing. I send out Aragon next for his trainer battle debut. He hits a Blizzard to take out Dragonite and avenge X-Men. Lance sends out a second Dragonite, presumably the one with Thunder. But Aragon is unstoppable, scoring another hit with Blizzard to take it out easily. For some reason, Lance sends out his final Dragonite, and it gets the Dairy Queen treatment as well. Fourth is Lance's Aerodactyl, who can be trouble. I switch to using Surf, but Aerodactyl moves first and takes exactly half of Aragon's HP with Rock Slide. I want a safe switch, so I go for Surf and hope for either a speed tie or a low roll on Rock Slide damage. But no such luck. Aerodactyl brutally buries Aragon under a pile of rocks. I choose my starter Blooper to handle the rest of this fight. Hyper Beam does about a third, but Surf finishes off the ancient Pokemon and brings out Lance's final Pokemon, Charizard. What a perfect ending to a Kanto run. Somehow, Blooper moves first, uses Surf, and takes down Charizard in a single hit. And that's the end of the run. We beat the entire Johto region using only Kanto Pokemon, even with us retiring and releasing a dozen extra Pokemon unnecessarily. Honestly, I loved this challenge, especially the retirement rule. That made me be so much more strategic with how I approached each gym. Maybe I'll add that rule in more often for fun. This was also a lot of fun for nostalgic reasons. Crystal was the first Pokemon game that I ever owned, and I played it a lot. It really kickstarted my love for the Pokemon franchise 20 years ago. I've not played it in a very long time, so this was a great trip down memory lane. But that's it for this video. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to leave a comment and a like. And also, again, subscribe. If everybody subscribes, I can start doing this full time sooner. So please subscribe. Remember to be kind, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, nerds.